Let me ask you a question. When something goes wrong in your neighborhood, who do you call? The president? Your United States senator? The governor? Probably not. You call your city council member. And that's why I believe city councils may be one of the most important and most misunderstood institutions in American government today. Because for millions of Americans, the city council is where government becomes personal. Let me explain. I spent 8 years serving on the Newark City Municipal Council, and I learned very quickly that constituents don't particularly care about your official job description. If they have a problem, you're their elected official, so they're coming to you. I had constituents contact me about housing, crime, jobs, schools, garbage collection, potholes, abandoned buildings, utility bills, even family problems, and sometimes even problems with state or federal agencies. And here's the interesting part. A lot of those things were completely outside of my legal authority. A council member can't order the police to arrest somebody, for instance, and we can't tell a judge what to do. We can't necessarily fix someone's social security problem. And depending on how your local government is structured, I just thought about this, you may not even directly control the city department that your constituent is complaining about. But try explaining jurisdiction to someone whose lights are about to be turned off. They don't want to hear a civics lesson. They need help. And this becomes especially important in cities with high poverty rates. Now, in communities where people may have limited access to lawyers, or government officials, or financial resources, or professional networks, the local council office can become the place of last resort. And sometimes you're not acting as a legislator, you're acting as a navigator. You're making a phone call, you're connecting someone with an agency, helping a senior understand a government program, trying to get somebody to simply return a constituent's call. That's why constituent service actually matters. But city councils have another incredibly important responsibility. They make laws. Council members vote on budgets and taxes and housing and development, public safety policies, land use and zoning, government contracts, and countless other decisions that directly affect neighborhoods. And unlike Washington or Trenton or your state house, those decisions aren't happening hundreds of miles away. They're happening down the street. And that's what makes local government different. If you're a member of Congress or a state legislator, somebody may send you an angry email. But when you're a city council member, you might run into that angry constituent at the grocery store that evening. And local government keeps you humble. That's also why I believe city councils can be tremendous training grounds for higher office. A city council member learns very quickly that campaigning and governing are two completely different things. You learn how to negotiate, you learn budgets, you learn how legislation actually gets written, you learn how to build coalitions, and you learn how to deal with an executive branch that doesn't necessarily always agree with you. You learn that sometimes you have to vote for something that's unpopular because you believe it's necessary. And most importantly, you learn to deal directly with people, not polling data, not demographic groups, and actual people. People who will look you in the eye and tell you exactly what they think. That's an education you can't get from a textbook. So when people ask why city councils matter, my answer is quite simple. Because local government is where many Americans experience democracy firsthand. It's where your tax dollars become services. It's where legislation becomes neighborhoods, and where elected officials have to face the consequences of their decisions. And for those who eventually seek higher office, local government can teach a lesson that every political leader needs to understand. Government isn't ultimately about institutions, it's about people. So pay attention to your city council. Know who's representing you. Attend a meeting occasionally, ask questions, hold them accountable, because while Washington or Trenton or your state capital gets most of the headlines, your city council may have more influence over what actually happens outside your front door today. This is Rice and Reason, the thoughts of a former elected official, law school graduate, and current husband, father, and advocate, sharing practical insights on politics, culture, education, faith, and leadership. Subscribe to the channel, like and share the content, please. And remember to think, it ain't illegal yet.